Jeff Gordon has settled in second. Matt?
Gordon didn't say anything on the radio about the start, Mike, but he did say that the car is tight. Now, he was surprised by that handling characteristics where it just won't turn like he wants it to in the center of the corner. The car was loose during most of the practice session. Like we mentioned earlier, it took him both sessions to get comfortable. Robbie Loomis told him, just take it easy, settle in, it will come back to you.
But Matt, I think the reason that the car is tighter, and here we see Mark Truex Jr. in the one car up against the wall, caution is out.
He just went in the first turn, and man, it's so hard to get into turn one. They've done some repair work on that corner down there on Friday night, and man, that turn is slick.
And Darrell, it doesn't seem to matter. In the Busch race, it bit experienced drivers and rookies alike, new tires, worn tires, heavy load of fuel, light load of fuel, it didn't matter.
Well, it's part of the unpredictability that we keep talking about. As you see, he goes in there high, he gets a little bit loose, and when you get up that high, there's done a lot of work down there, but there's not any grip when you get that high.
I talked to his crew chief this morning, Kevin Bono-Mannion. He said, you know what, this is our third start this year. We have failed to finish the other two. We just want to see the checkered flag at the end of the 600 miles.
The reigning Busch Series champion brings out the first caution of the day in Concord, North Carolina. Quick cleanup down in turn one. We're set to go racing once again. 9 laps will be complete this time by as we go back to green. Pole sitter Ryan Newman in front of Jeff Gordon, Kyle Busch, and Jimmy Johnson. Green flag. Stewart almost got squeezed into the wall trying to go outside Dale Jarrett.
Yeah, I was just going to say, watch these restarts because they are constantly a battle for position. You leave that outside open just a little bit, somebody's going to be there.
But boy, Jeff Gordon in the 24 car, he took advantage of this restart. He takes the lead.
Trouble over in turn two, guys.
Hard into the wall goes Kurt Busch, the defending series champion. Quickly, we're under the second caution of the night at lap number 10. That's a hard hit, Darrell, into that safer barrier.
Yeah, they're not going to pull that sheet metal out. They're on their way to the garage. That's Jimmy Finnick, his crew chief. He says, go to the garage, guys. As you can see, a lot of bad.
We're damaged pretty good.
That was Kurt calling it in.
Just remember back to Darlington a few weeks ago, spun on the first lap of that race, had a lot of damage.
Just came around with him over there, that unpredictable turn two.
The 1 and 2 end of the racetrack down here, the drivers is just driving them crazy. You can see, look at the fluid coming out of that car. That's got to be coming out of the 97.
So did he spin in his own water or oil?
It surely appears that way.
Well, before the pit stop, Mike, Kyle Busch was concerned about his car at the beginning of a run. He came on the radio just moments ago with another war whoop. That's a good sign for his fans. And he said that they got it right on that pit stop. What they do have a problem with, however, is ignition. He has tried both boxes. They are concerned about it because at one point the engine just shut off. They switched boxes, got it going again, but that's a worrisome thing in a race of this length.
Trouble turn 2, back straightaway, big pileup. Scott Riggs is in it. Jimmy Spencer backs it into the wall. Robbie Gordon was right in the center of things. And caution is out for the 4th time today at lap 100.
This will be a huge break for Bobby Labonte, the 18 car. He will get the free pass. He'll be back on the lead lap to see Mike Skinner, the 23 car, involved in this crash as well.
Well, I think something happened to Skinner's car, and he slowed in front of these guys, and somebody ran into the back of several cars. I think Skinner had a problem over off of 2.
A lot of smoke out the tailpipes of Mike Skinner's car as the Automaniac Dodge heads for the garage.
You can see it coming out of the exhaust pipes.
I think Skinner blew up in front of those guys, and that's what started that whole thing.
And of course, everyone's on fresh tires. They're on the gas, they're on the throttle, and you see it right there, coming out the right side.
Robbie Gordon, I think he got the boot from Michael Waltrip as they tried to slow up.
I think Michael turned him around, but you can see all that oil in the turn there, too.
But show it to you from Michael Waltrip's bumper.
Still lined up on the bottom of that 43, big hole behind him right there. A Boeing.
Whoa!
Come on around. How hard's the front end?
Scott Riggs,
Bad.
10.
Bad. Really bad.
The leader comes onto the pits almost by
Got
himself.
a flat right rear tire.
Matt's there.
Set him up. Take your time here. No rush.
No rush.
Mark Martin won this race in 2002.
And he is $1 million mark from a week ago.
Well, as a matter of fact, he won $1 million in that race. It was one of those bull races. Yeah.
And this is a different car than he won with last week. This car was faster than the car he won with last week at the test they did a couple of weeks ago, but this car drove better too.
Car in the wall, I think it's the 09.
It is. It's Johnny Sauter. Sauter's luck ran out.
I think he got a right front tire, looks like.
He needed a caution to get back on the lead lap, and sadly, it's him.
Definitely looks like a right front tire.
Yeah, and he was driving the wheels off of that thing, and I think one of them just came off. Literally came off.
But now Casey Mears in the 41, Sterling Marlin in the 40, Martin Truex Jr. in the 1. They'll get back on the lead lap the hard way. They were in front of the leader, and very possibly will make sure Scott Wimmer may have gotten the free pass back on the lead lap. That's a shame. These guys had a great race car, but they painted themselves in a box with that mistake on pit road, and Johnny was probably having to run the car much harder than he wanted to.
A couple of laps ago, Dave Blaney took the Blackjack Chevrolet behind the wall, joining Mike Skinner, Jimmy Spencer, and Kurt Busch.
There he goes. You see all the rubber and debris as he heads down into turn 3 there off the 09's front tire. She just let go.
It looks like he's going to take it to the garage area. Of course, this team, they do not run all of the races. There's no reason to be out there points racing.
Yeah, and actually, where the tire blew out was a whole lot better if it had blown out in the middle of the turn.
Yes, sir.
Mark Martin had to get way out of the throttle in turn 2, and he's going to have Ricky Rudd right alongside him. We're now 40% distance in the longest race in the Nextel Cup Series, the Coke 600. Matt?
5 laps ago, Rudd wasn't his biggest problem, Mike. In fact, his radio button was stuck, and Mark didn't know it. Mark kept saying, "Are you guys there? Do you hear me?" The team could not talk back because he'd engaged the radio button. Finally, it disengaged, and they told him that he was having issues with the button. The problem seems to have disappeared.
Now, a lot of guys, when you turn that car into the corner, you lay your right arm against the steering wheel.
Trouble turn 1, a car hard in the wall, and it is Kurt Busch.
I'm not surprised. He was not running that fast and looked like he was having a hard time just keeping up the minimum speed.
When in the garage earlier, Busch predicted they'd finish 43rd tonight, and now that prophecy appears to have come true.
But that will benefit Casey Mears, the 41 car. He will get the free pass, but I think a lot of damage to that 97 car this time. You see Jimmy Finning for the second time tonight crawling off the pit box, and I think he may know that it could be over with tonight.
I just am not a big fan of taking a really bad wrecked race car back out on the racetrack. I just think sometimes this is a result.
Kurt is okay, but the defending series champion, who came in here 5th in the standings, will lose a lot of ground to the leaders tonight.
Kurt Busch has gotten beaten up a lot this year, guys. He's had some really hard crashes.
Let's watch what happened to Kurt Busch, who crashed back at lap 10.
When he went back out on the track, Mike, I could tell he was having a hard time trying to even just keep up to what minimum speed would have been. The car didn't look like it was driving worth a flip. That's another hard lick on, and that's driver's side. That hurts. Little guy's been beaten up a lot this year.
But we did see him walk to the ambulance under his own power, and he looked to be okay. That car, however, is not.
See all that driver's side damage? That hurts.
Chris Ryan Newman made his last pit stop on lap 140. They took 4 tires, made a track bar adjustment. Now race. Ryan Newman's been complaining of a tight race car, and he also was concerned about a vibration. The vibration is gone, and now he just told crew chief Matt Borland that his car is just a little bit free getting in the corners.
Thanks, Steve. 2 laps to halfway on NASCAR's longest night, the Coca-Cola 600. Oh, Scott Wimmer. Not going to hit anything, but he is going to bring out the yellow flag for the 9th time tonight.
Sterling Marlin in the 40 car, he has to go down pit road to avoid being in that accident. Caution is out. What a huge break, though. You just heard Steve Burns talking about Ryan Newman. Ryan Newman, Greg Biffle, Brian Vickers, Jeremy Mayfield, Kevin Harvick, and Rusty Wallace. They were about to have to make a green flag pit stop.
Down into turn 3 here. Everything looks good right at this point. Rudd goes in and gets on the apron just a tad and brushes the left rear corner. Boy, look at Mark Martin and Kenseth. They all in. Here comes Sterling down pit road. Just a slight brush by Ricky Rudd into Wimmer's car, but is enough to spin him out.
Yeah, that part of the racetrack, you're probably still at about 170 miles per hour.
It just seems like this time at this racetrack, when you go down underneath somebody into the corner, it's hard to stay there.
Darrell, that bump didn't even take the paint off Wimmer's fender.
All it takes is a touch, I'm telling you. If you could walk up there in the middle of the racetrack and touch that car with your finger, it'll spin out, especially if you're free.
Watch this. Sterling Marlin.
Listen, he never even checked. He never checked up.
He's up. Good job. Good job, bud. Good job. You'll get your spot back. I'll get you back.
Now, it was a good job avoiding the wreck, but because when he was on pit road, he didn't try to get his speed down. He ran a hard speed, a fast speed all the way down. He will have to restart at the tail end, the longest in the line, per NASCAR.
That doesn't seem fair. I mean, he's avoiding a wreck.
Which I think they did not have a problem with that is because he didn't try to slow down on pit road.
Robbie's got a fast car. He can run up there with them for several laps. This is a good opportunity for him. He just passed about the fastest car out there.
And how he got those 2 laps down, he was leaking something early in the race, had to come to pit road and make repairs.
I think Robbie would feel pretty good based on the way his year has gone just to be up there running with those guys.
Yeah, he's had a lot of races he did not qualify for or did not finish.
It's just amazing to me how a car that's maybe not all that great can get out front and just drive off and leave everybody else.
2 Penske cars out in front of this race, and on the right, 3 Hendrick cars, the 25, the 5, and the 48. Back there racing for 7th.
And I don't mean all that, I just mean all that great back in traffic, but when they get out front, it's like a different race car.
Right now, though, that other Hendrick cars, he's joining those Penske cars.
Oh, we got trouble. Turn 2.
Casey Mears and the 1 of Martin Truex.
Oh, and somebody else nailed him. Is that
Marlin, Mears' teammate, nailed him.
And remember, why Sterling Marlin was back that far was that penalty he had for not reducing his speed on pit road during that caution a while ago.
Robbie Gordon gets a lap back in all this melee.
Car owner Chip Ganassi arrived just a little bit ago from the Indianapolis.
Oh, rear end damage, it looks like, guys.
And there is Chip.
There's Chip saying, what? Why did I come all the way back for this? That car is just pretty much destroyed right there.
Chip had some harsh words for 2 of his 3 drivers the other night on Speed Channel on Wind Tunnel with Dave Despain. And there they are in the same crash, Casey Mears.
Well, Mears got punted. He got punted by the 1 car. He went up and hit the wall.
Like track bar.
And on his way down, Sterling was going by and he clipped him.
Marlin will make it back to pit road with a pretty...
All right, get your right front suspension and all rear end stuff when we get there.
A lot of repairs will be needed to that thing.
I don't think they can fix that, baby.
Let's go back and talk about the penalty to Sterling Marlin. NASCAR has a rule that if you take evasive action to avoid a crash and are exceeding the pit road speed limit, that's okay. But to protect all of the pit crews and inspectors down the line, you must then slow to pit road speed, and Marlin did not. So he served the penalty, he got back in the track, he got caught up in this.
You saw Truex get a little bit loose. He shot up into the 41, and here comes Sterling by, and that was hard.
double trouble for Chip Ganassi's team tonight.
Almost made it by.
41 was just going down the hill, not anything he could do. He'd already been into the wall, and he didn't have much control over the car. Watch this. This is just, man. Sterling didn't even know what was hitting him, I bet.
Boy, Carl Edwards in the 99 almost was caught up in this wreck.
Jeff Green pits, so does Mike Bliss. Bill Elliott is in. Ryan Newman, Rusty Wallace still out front. Jeff Gordon right with them. Greg Biffle, Kevin Harvick, and then Mayfield, Vickers, Kyle Busch, Johnson, and Waltrip, the top 10.
See, Robbie Gordon in the 7 car just got one of those laps back. Now he's up there just 1 lap down, trying to get it back and get back on the lead lap.
Well, I think like we've seen in the past several restarts there, Robbie Gordon's car is plenty fast enough to get up there, and he's already passed Ryan Newman once. I think he can do it again.
Through the speedy dry in the backstretch, and there's Biffle back there battling the lap down cars once again as Kevin Harvick has a look at him, and right behind them, Hendrick cars 3 out of 4 under a blanket. Vickers in the 25, Busch in the 5, and Johnson in the 48, racing Matt Kenseth.
Well, they just cycle through, you know. You lead a while, and then you work on your car a while, and then you lead a while.
And these guys right now are battling for the 7th position, but how about that 48 car, Dick Berger?
Well, he started in 5th spot, and right now the 48 car is in 9th spot. They're having a bit of a problem trying to get off turn 4, Larry, and that's been going on all night long. And as only Jimmy Johnson could say it, how do you address that without messing something else up? Chad Knaus has told his driver, just be patient, that the car will be adjusted, so that they're going to be there at the end. And I'll tell you, when you listen to Chad Knaus on the radio, you believe him. You really believe him. The guy's the greatest psychologist on a pit box today.
Did you see that 24 car, guys?
Turn 2. Jamie McMurray, I believe. Yes, it is.
The 3rd Ganassi car.
And Robbie Gordon gets his other lap back, Larry.
Back on the lead lap the hard way. Boy, Chip's had enough. He's hacking his feet.
I don't know what he could be thinking.
Not sure what happened to Jamie.
I don't know. If he try to go around, or I got to come in. I'm wrecking.
No need and keep going around. Might as well come to pit road. A lot of damage on that car.
Come on in. You got time.
Chip's sitting there thinking, you know, I just wish I didn't have any luck. So for today, all he's had is bad.
Casey Mears taken out in the same crash with Sterling Marlin. And now in turn 2.
4 tires, guys. 4 tires.
Jamie McMurray goes around.
He's got that spun out in the second turn look.
He was right in front of Scott Wimmer. And big evasive action in the back there.
By a lot of cars.
Gordon, Wallace, Biffle, Chevy, Dodge, Ford in the front 3 spots.
Mayfield right there lurking in the behind them. Good run for that car. Mayfield's a lot better tonight than his teammate Casey King.
Turn 4. Who's around?
Robbie Gordon, 7.
Gets his laps back, 2 of them, and then has this happen.
Now he's still on the lead lap as he brings out the 13th caution of the night, 1 shy of the record.
And that could be a break for those 17 or 18 cars that pitted the last caution. This may force the hand of those guys that stayed out to possibly come to pit road for their pit stop this time.
Many cautions we're having, I think we'll be all right. Robbie just got back on the lead lap. He goes into turn 3 there. Was that Truex?
Yes, it was.
In the 1 car.
Yes.
Truex got the 41 car earlier. I'm not so sure if he got into 7. It almost almost looked like the 7 just kind of did a D-dido, but we'll have to get a better look at it. We don't want to put old Truex in jail till it's time.
Laps, 230 miles to go, rather, as Jeff Gordon battles Brian Vickers. This is way back at 26th place. Dale Jarrett, Kenny Schrader in their midst.
But remember, those are 2 cars that pitted back about 10 laps ago. That's the reason they're back there. They have much fresher tires than almost anyone in this group. Gordon and Vickers.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's a big advantage other than if a caution should come, they're going to be able to stay out when some of these other guys have to come in. That could get them back to the front, but driving back to the front's pretty tough. Oh, Michael just got turned.
And look at Matt Kenseth, and the 17 gets wrapped up in it.
Bunch of cars. What in the world happened, guys?
You think Chip Ganassi's had problems. I think the 2 DEI cars just got together and brought on that big pileup
on the straightaway.
I tell you, and that's right where there's no soft wall, and that's all on left side too.
A lot of damage to the 8 car. Both these cars were running in the top 10. In fact, last time by, Michael Rothrop 6th, Junior 7th, and Matt Kenseth in 18. You see Terry Labonte in the 44 as well with a lot of damage.
I'm just real worried about that, where that hit was, because that's there's no soft wall right there.
Junior is going to be able to limp it around to pit road. Matt Kenseth has taken off his helmet. You see that he's okay, and Darrell, your brother's okay.
That was a hard lick, though.
Yeah, he's okay, but he's stunned. Well, let's see what happened here, boys.
This was coming down the front stretch here.
Ooh.
I mean, the picture tells the story right there.
He just jacked him up.
And, of course, nowhere for Matt Kenseth in the 17 to go.
Well, that was ugly.
Kenseth down to the bottom. Terry Labonte, watch the 44, will get swept up in it. Junior tries to cross under Michael. Too close to him to make the move.
Boy, Bill Elliott and Bobby Labonte just squeaking by.
I think we'll see Junior try to cross under Michael.
I think Junior must have been able to try to get down under him as they headed down into turn 1 and just timed it wrong.
Just too close to Michael to make the move. Here's what Bobby Labonte saw. He saw trouble all around.
Boy, Joe Gibbs has got to be having a sigh of relief.
Terry Labonte has climbed out of his car. He is okay.
I don't know how you know what's wrong with him when it's a beat up like that thing is.
Loses the position to Scott Wimmerner, 22. Jeremy Mayfield in the 19 is going to go by him on the high side, as well as Kevin LePage in the 37.
But no matter what happens to Robbie tonight, what a great turnaround for his team.
Well, now he's about to be caught. Oh, trouble! Brian Vickers got in the back of one car, turned it sideways. Jeff Gordon's in it. Bill Elliott.
Martin, the 6.
Bill Elliott was the car that Vickers got into.
Kevin Harvick in the 29.
And the rest of the field.
Mark Martin and Kevin Harvick torn up. And we have just broken the all-time record for caution flags on a NASCAR race, as Bill Elliott ends up in the fence, and I believe the first contact was Brian Vickers and Bill Elliott. A bunch of drivers on fresh tires fighting to get back to the front as the laps wound down, trying hard, maybe too hard.
Not a lot of damage on Jeff Gordon's car, the 24. Just a little bit here and there everywhere.
Yeah, but I think it's
front fenders rolled in a little bit. Looks like
watch the left of your screen. There's Vickers, there's Elliott.
Just a little bump right there, like a bump draft, almost like what Dale Jr. did to Michael earlier and what Carl Edwards did to Dale Jarrett going down the back. Just a little bump, and away they go, wrecking everywhere.
Now, Mark Martin hit the wall hard. Elliott Sadler had a couple of brushes with disaster, but was able to drive through.
I think he may have got some damage on the left front fender, possibly. Right there.
Gordon hits the wall on the outside down here and then gets hit by another car right there. He has to have quite a bit of damage.
Brian Vickers just drove into the back of Bill Elliott.
Yeah, another one of those closing race things. And I'm just not sure what guys are thinking is going to happen when you bump into somebody at this speed. Some really good cars with chances to win out of the race.
You talk about closing rate, Darrell. I think it's the closing rate of the two cars, and it's the closing rate of lap 200 coming up. And for the second weekend in a row at Lowe's Motor Speedway, Brian Vickers turns a car around, and this time he won't be going to victory lane. As for Biffle, guess that National Guard helmet didn't turn out to be a lucky charm for car owner Jack Roush. Let's go to the leader's pit. Here's Matt.
But the Army car is out front is Ryan Pemberton, who won at Kansas. 17 races ago. It's sizing up. Can your man hold him off?
Yeah, well, I mean, he's doing a great job right now. We got 10 to go. We got about 20 car length lead. Joe can do it. We got all the faith in the world in him.
Talk about major dedication. The day after Richmond, Rob went in for major back surgery. The doctor said, you need to stay out 3 weeks. He stayed out 3 days, was back at work. That's dedication. You need to stay out 3 weeks. He stayed out 3 days, was back at work. That's dedication.
Jimmy Johnson, though, is coming. Oh, car in the wall. Hard and coming down in traffic, the leader. Nemechek has crashed. Wimmer has crashed.
He put oil down. Sorry. I blew a right rear.
Right rear tire for Nemechek. Caution flag 22.
Scott Wimmer in the 22 car, involved in it as well.
You can see the right rear down on the 01 car, Nemechek. You heard him say he blew a right rear. I tell you who this falls right in their hands, though. 48. He's there now. There goes Joe. I mean, he's out there just sailing along. You see the car wobble? Around she goes.
And Jimmy Johnson almost T-boned him as Nemechek slid down the track.
I'm not sure about that. I guess the tire was soft. I don't know that it was. Couldn't tell if it was flat or not, but I guess it was soft. Oh boy.
Jimmy Johnson and Ryan Newman both
Going in turn 3.
Look at the lead Nemechek had over Bobby Labonte. Cruise control. And then this.
Yeah, he was beating Bobby Labonte by a couple of tenths a lap at that point right there.
Now watch Jimmy Johnson's close call here. He's just passed Ryan Newman.
Man in front of you, stay down, stay down, stay down. Caution's out.
Good thing you didn't stay all the way down.
Sometimes you listen to your spotter, sometimes you go your own way.
Well, he couldn't get down anyway as fast as he was going.
We have red flagged the Coca-Cola 600 with 9 laps to go, and still this crowd patiently awaits what might happen next. And they still haven't sat down.
Is there anything that hadn't happened tonight? And now a red flag.